Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show. The show is about conversations that matter, and we invite people from all walks of life to come and share their heart stories, their stories of upliftment and transformation. And we have another amazing individual on the line. Sean Miller is a financial advisor and entrepreneur, and he was born and raised in London, England. Sean immigrated to Canada at the age of 16 with his mother, who both had no knowledge of exactly how the financial system worked in Canada. But now Sean has been working very hard in the community, and these days he has been leading people, over 1,000 people, about financial education. So please welcome Sean Miller to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Thank you for the introduction, Nikki. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. And Sean, we are all going through some trying times, and I think more than ever, people really understand the importance of learning how to manage their money better. Saving for a rainy day really resounds right now in so many people's experiences. So let's talk a little bit about your background leading up to where you are today.
Okay. As you mentioned, I am an immigrant to Canada. Came here when I was 16 from London, England. And, really didn't know much about the country, didn't have much family, but my grandmother and my aunt. And I went to school for architecture, graduated, and pursued my studies more so towards my master's. But during that time, I was really kind of wondering the path I wanted to go down towards. Because once I had graduated and I got my first job, I wanted to, as I mentioned, pursue my master's, but I was basically given an ultimatum. I continue working or I quit and continue my studies. So I said, you know what, let me continue my studies. And as time progressed, I ended up where I am with my financial firm right now.
Fantastic. And Sean, how long have you been there now?
So I've been working with my firm just under 5 years. This May is actually going to be 5 years with my company.
Okay. And what's the name of your company?
World Financial Group.
Okay, excellent. Now, Sean, as I alluded to earlier, people are really feeling the challenges right now. Can you tell us a little bit about, the importance of financial literacy and especially savings and all the implications of that? Can you share a little bit about that? Definitely.
Right now, there is a heightened awareness for the importance of insurance, but even not just insurance, especially with this unfortunate pandemic that everyone is going through right now. It's just the basic principles of understanding how money works, knowing how to save. Right now, when we were going through school, many people, even up until today, we're learning about Shakespeare, we're learning about algebra. These are topics that I believe everyone should be mindful of to stretch our knowledge and understanding. But at the end of the day, right now, it's Shakespeare and algebra at the forefront of everyone's mind. These are things that is going to help us get through this situation that we're dealing with, or is having the financial knowledge and literacy available to you to understand the importance of having even just 3 months worth of savings, knowing how to minimize your debt. Just these simple fundamentals, I believe, would serve the community so much more. And this is what I'm passionate about, bringing into the households of families and teaching them how money works.
Excellent. So what are some of the steps you can take right now? I'll give you a scenario. You've just been laid off, and you've had maybe 1 month worth of savings in your account. I mean, how can you kind of make things work for the next little bit? Because now we're understanding things are going to be on hold possibly until July.
One of the number one things that I would recommend is for the individuals, the husband and wife, the partners in the house, or the person responsible for the household, to truly sit down and outline all of their expenses, and then from their expenses to distinguish what are the things they need and what are the things that they enjoy. Because oftentimes, many of us, we have Netflix accounts, We have a phone bill with 10 gigs of data. These are things that provide a sense of comfort into our standard of living. But at this point in time, is it going to help us? We need to learn how to organize our finances and put aside the things that we don't need for now so we can stretch out the income that we have. And right now I sent an email to a few of my clients just this morning because the Canadian government has put in place a few situations to kind of help aid the Canadian people. So I'm not sure about, I know you have listeners all across the globe, so I'm hoping that the governments have sent out something. If not, then I would encourage people to just go onto their government website, and there should be some information that could help them in terms of financial funding that the government should have put in place to help people during these times.
Excellent advice. And typically, what type of services do you offer your clients?
So it's kind of funny because oftentimes, especially in my line of work, many individuals feel that with my firm or financial group, we only offer insurance. So when I sit down with individuals, especially in North America, many people know what Walmart is. So I use a joke and say, you know what Walmart is, right? Our firm is just like Walmart. So if you want bread, you can go into Walmart. You want pineapples, you can go into Walmart. You want chicken, you want a T-shirt, you can go into Walmart. So essentially how Walmart works is how our financial firm works. 95% of what a family is looking to accomplish financially, chances are we can help. Whether it is insurance, and there's a whole array, whether it's term insurance, permanent insurance. If people are looking for mortgages, if they're looking for to save for their kids' education, their own retirement planning, if they're just looking for a quick quote on home and auto insurance, there's a wide array of services that our firm is able to help with, even as much as helping families eliminate their debt. So that's one of the best things that I love about my firm is the ability to provide options depending on every family's position, on what their financial needs are. We can offer a solution to help.
Absolutely. And Sean, I know you have your own kind of personal connection to really being passionate about having financial independence, with the loss of your father at a very young age, tragically to cancer. What was that experience like, if you can share a little bit about what you learned from that?
The experience was tough for many reasons. Myself and my family, we never knew the severity of what my dad was dealing with until maybe he had 2 months left. There are some personal things that I would prefer not to get too deep in, but just to make a long story short, my dad didn't have much family around him in England, me living in Canada, so even when myself and a few partners were actually opening up our office, that's when I actually found out how ill my dad was. So once the grand opening was done, I literally found out. I flew straight over to England. Thankfully, I was able to spend the last month with him. But it was tough because my dad didn't have anything in place, and he had someone who he thought was looking out for his best interest, but we later found out that this person wasn't. We had to file a police report, and even it's been coming up to 2 years now, and we're still fighting this thing because, again, my dad didn't have a will in place, and this is why I am always emphasizing the importance of every individual sitting down with a financial professional, someone who you feel has a teacher's heart. Never sit down with someone. Even for myself, I always emphasize to my clients, if you don't understand the solution I'm recommending to you, don't purchase a single thing from me. I need you to understand what it is we're implementing to help you with your financial future. Yes. And my dad didn't have a will. He didn't have a healthcare directive. So there was things going on behind closed doors that the family knew nothing about. So once I got wind of it, I went down to the police station. I got police reports. I went down into the bank. I'm showing the bank my birth certificate. I'm showing them that my passport. I'm showing them that this is my dad. He's not in a position. He has cancer. He's on his deathbed. But literally, the bank's hands were tied. They couldn't do anything to help with the situation because there's certain legal documents that institutions need for you to be able to make any decision. And it doesn't matter if you can draw blood and say our blood matches up. We're from the same cloth. nobody can do anything. And I'm always emphasizing individuals to put things in place, have a will in place, have a power of attorney, make sure your family and your kids know what to do if worst case was to happen. Right now, we have, especially in New York, there's so many people, unfortunately, losing their life in the click of a finger. And I question if these individuals had a financial plan in place, what's the aftermath that they're leaving their family to cope with. So, again, for me, the money wasn't the factor for me, but I still have two siblings in England that they're 12 and 10. So my number one focus was I need to figure out what's going on, because my dad was the breadwinner for these guys. So without him, they need to make sure that I need to make sure that they have the financial aid in place to help. And right now, it's been 2 years again, and we're still fighting to make sure that we can wrong the right that was done to my dad. And all of this could have simply been avoided if my dad had a financial plan in place, if he had a critical illness in place that could inject a lump sum of wealth into the family's life. And these are just the trying times that I want to help every family avoid and not have to go through this situation.
Absolutely. It's heartbreaking. And Sean, God bless you for pushing the trajectory for people to be financially literate and independent, because no one wants to go through that experience you had. But, thank you for your strength of character to push through. And I really hope everything resolves really quickly for you. So you're welcome. Before we close, I just wanted to ask you if you could share some kind of message of hope for people right now going through these challenging times. What would you tell them?
Right now, as dark as the times look, we are going through a level of uncertainty that we haven't experienced before. But I want to encourage everyone to have hope. This is not the first time our world has gone through a black swan event, so to speak, something that has been unprecedented. But even through these trying times, as a community, as a unit, we've always been able to fight through. So I want to encourage people to remain positive and don't allow the outside world to bring us down. But if we can unite and focus on what's being recommended to help alleviate all of this, which is social distancing, staying with our families, not going out and disregarding the severity of this virus, and really just understanding that as a community, allowing us to come together as one, and really just recognize that this too will pass. So to have hope that this will pass, this too will pass, and we will get through this, and we will be stronger and more united for it. So just to focus on the positive outcome that will arise from this. And I understand, again, that there have been many families who have suffered a lost one, and I do send my condolences, as I also have a family member in New York who is fighting this virus as well. So I want to encourage us that regardless of everything that has happened, what has happened is something that we are unable to change. So it doesn't serve us if we continue to live in the past. And as challenging as it may be, we have to find the light or the hope in the future for us to continually move forward and not dwell in the things of the past.
Absolutely, absolutely. And even through these moments, there is transformation, and we can only get better as a human race. Yes. Thank you so much for your wisdom, Sean Miller. You've been listening to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show with financial advisor and entrepreneur Sean Miller. Please reach out to him on social media. So, Sean, where can people find you?
So right now, my social media is going through a revamp in terms of I am working with an expert to revamp my whole social media, but you can find me on Instagram. It is therealmr.miller. That's my Instagram, but if you'd like to catch me on my personal website with my firm, it is wfgconnects.ca/my first and last name, which is Sean Miller.
Excellent. All right, Sean.
FeanMiller. There we go.
Wonderful. Thank you. Sean Miller, thank you so much for your sharing. I really appreciate it. And I know that you've been able to encourage many people listening, and I know that you have a wonderful organization that you're connected with, and you're helping so many people, and we're all going to get through this. So thanks again for your time, and I look forward to connecting with you face-to-face when we have our taping, whenever that time comes, and we can continue to share good messages of what you're doing. So thank you again.
No worries. Thank you for your time, Nikki.
All the best. Bye for now.
No worries. Take care.